Totes Talk, the Ringwald Show. Totes Talk with Susie and Joe. Totes Talk.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. With our special guest today, Miss Tess Hannah.
It's me.
Tess Hannah!
Tess Hannah.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, we're with her signature LaCroix.
La Croix, darling. La Croix.
LaCroix.
La Croix, darling.
Yeah, we took the week off last week, and now we're back.
Mm-hmm.
Back.
So, how is everyone today?
Good. Doing great.
All right, good.
Great. I mean, just great.
Yeah, things could not be going better.
Right? Things are just tip-top. In the world,
Yeah.
just everything is great.
Yeah, super, super great.
Super great.
So, Tess, how are you handling this pandemic, first of all?
You know, I'm a real trooper. I'm hanging in there. I'm still working full-time, very grateful to be employed, blessed and booked. But I'm working like at home doing some telehealth, and that's kind of been a new change. I've never done that before, therapy on the phone or on video with people. It's going great, but I'm still going to the hospital too. So
Now,
half and half.
Tell the people what you do.
Oh, yes, of course. Hi, I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I work at the outpatient mental health clinic at the Detroit VA hospital.
That's a real-time fancy job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are calls like off the hook with everything going on? Is it the same? Like, what?
You know, honestly, I feel like the first month of all of this lockdown, everyone was like, hey, I'm great, cool. We don't even need to talk that long. I'm fine. But I think about 6 weeks in, everyone was like, I'm starting to really lose it. And then I was, I anticipated that. And then things got really wild. But I feel like now that things are opening up, people are having less anxiety and less isolation about it all. So
Sure.
Little wave I'm riding.
I have a lot of pet peeves, but being at home all the time, I've noticed a new one, and I'm going to share it now.
Please.
I wish that everyone in my neighborhood would pick a day and a time where they would all at the same time mow their lawn. Okay? Every day, all day long, people are how many lawns are there to mow?
It's happening right now in my neighborhood. I can hear it.
And our landlord has mowed our lawn twice in 3 weeks. Everyone pick a time. All do it together. Get the noise over with. Let's move on. I cannot take it.
Yes, and that coupled with trash pickup day creates a lot of wonderful neighborhood cacophony.
Cacophony. So what else do you do, Tess? How else might know you?
You might know me from performing in some wonderful productions at the Ringwald Theater. The best little theater in the neighborhood and in all of the state and all of the world.
Neighborhood. Love it.
So you may know me from some shows there that I've been blessed and booked in, and you may know me from Go Comedy, perhaps, or from teaching jazzercise at Royal Oak Jazzercise Fitness Center. All of my hobbies that are not my job are all gone right now.
Yeah.
Everything that I feel makes me has been removed.
Yeah, it's weird how everything we enjoy is so easily stripped, but somehow we can still work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is good, but you know what I mean.
It's true. All of the things I think that make me a good mental health professional, like the things that keep my mental health really balanced and nice, they've been removed. So I've had to resort to new things like running.
No.
That's
no.
That's how bored I got.
No, I don't. No. Why? What are you trying to prove? Who hurt you? Why are you running? Ew. Gross.
I mean,
I
good
just
for
do
you.
it right
That's
when I
great.
wake up. Right when I wake up. Or I will talk myself out of it and realize it's not that fun or good. So right when I wake up, I just go run and I come back and I'm like, great, that was nice. Now I can go work.
How long do you run? How far?
During the week, I just do a little 5K.
Oh,
Okay.
But on Sundays, do a little 10K.
Oh my gosh. Working for you.
Stupid. Talking about running is stupid.
So I like to take walks.
Mm-hmm.
And I can usually go about 3 miles. The other day, the day before, when it was like 90 something degrees, I made it 2 miles and had to have Pete come get me and rescue me because I thought I was going to vomit.
Yeah, you should have known better than that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
you know, that
It's
was
not fun
terrible.
outside in the heat and the
Mm-mm.
sun and the dehydration that accompanies it.
Yeah, no.
Mm-mm.
So now, Tess, you have a podcast.
I have had. Yes, I did. Tess Talks You Through is my advice podcast, which was super fun to do. Hearsay Studios produced. And then it went on a bit of a hiatus to get questions, because an advice podcast only works if people want to write to you and ask a question. And since
Right.
there was a drought of that, we ran out of material. So we're like, let's just wait, and didn't get a ton of them. And then a pregnancy occurred, and not mine,
Oh.
the producer, the producers of, yeah. People got busy
Pregnancy
lives.
occurred?
Well, not a baby. It's not mine. It's theirs. It's great. Things just got out of hand with busyness, and I have not checked that email account for fear that I may have ignored someone needing advice.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're doing such good in your real life, everyday job. So
I don't. But podcasting is fun, and I love podcasts. So I wanted to be a part of making one, and find my podcast groove. I don't know that I did, but the future is wide open, and podcasting is definitely quarantine safe.
yeah, sure is.
Right.
Think of this as a podcast, just with pictures.
Which is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. A podcast with a video is what that is.
Speaking of emails, we have a couple of emails.
Oh, all right.
If you would like to write to us, the email address is heytotestalk
Hey, Totes Talk.
@gmail.com.
Because Totes Talk was taken.
Hmm.
Who's got Totes Talk? I don't know. Some jerk bag. All right.
Email
This
Some plate of dicks.
says, hey, Totes Talk. I recently started listening to the Guilty Pleasure podcast. A, what is your favorite podcast? And second, what is your guilty pleasure?
Ooh.
Thanks. Signed, your biggest fan.
Oh.
I wrote that?
Oh, you. I will go first because I don't want you to take my podcast one. I listen really only to My Favorite Murder. I have a bunch of other ones that I have to subscribe to, but I never listen to it. My sister is trying to get me to listen to True Crime Obsessed.
Oh.
No,
Okay. Here's the thing. I adore True Crime Obsessed. I am obsessed with True Crime Obsessed. That being said, I could see you in particular hating it, possibly. They're very huge personalities, and yeah, I could see you disliking it. I am obsessed.
I listened to the first one, and then if I didn't dislike it, I just fell away.
Yeah.
So
I do like it because all they do on True Crime Obsessed is basically they watch a documentary and then they recap it for you. But I like that because sometimes I can be watching things and not have any idea what the fuck is going on. But if I'm listening to it, then I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. So I like them, and they're funny, and they're best friends, and blah, blah, blah. So it's great. But do you have a guilty pleasure, Joe?
I don't No, I don't really feel guilty about my entertainment.
Me
choices.
neither.
Thank you.
Me
So,
neither.
There's no guilt and pleasure.
I don't have any guilty pleasures. I'm very proud of all the weird shit I do.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly like things that people be like, but I don't care, so go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
And can we say the F word on here?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we have before.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. My favorite podcast, it used to be My Favorite Murder. I actually was going to text this to you today, Joe, and I decided to save it. Isn't that weird?
Intel.
With everything going on in the world, and I have so many feelings about everything, I want to hear Karen and Georgia talk about it.
And they do.
Because, and I'm sure they do, and they should, and that's great. But Georgia comes off so much sometimes as disingenuous and just sort of giving lip service. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to be. I will at some point.
I didn't get that from that, so you might.
Okay.
Not for that.
Because my big problem right now is, I'm sorry, Tess, we'll get you to answer the question in a second. I'm just going to go off for a little bit.
Go.
If you are a person of color and you don't like something I say about the current situation, 100% tell me. I'm going to take it and learn and listen. I'm tired of white people telling me how to act about it or what to say about it or how to say it. No. If you're peach, I don't want to hear your thoughts on how I should have my thoughts about it. I'm just saying.
Valid.
Tess, what's your favorite podcast?
The podcast that I started listening to when I found out podcasts were a thing is one called Throwing Shade.
Ooh.
And it's my all-time fave. It's hosted by these two comedians, Brian Safi and Aaron Gibson. They refer to themselves as homosensual Brian Safi and feminasty Aaron Gibson. And I just adore them so much. And that's why I started listening to podcasts, because I used to watch a segment Brian Safi did called That's So Gay. And so I was already a big fan. And when I was like,
on
podcast
brand
form. And they talk about current event stuff, but they're hysterical and they just go on these wonderful, they just go bits all the time. And it's just so fun and lively.
May I make some suggestions? Because I have discovered a podcast. Well, I didn't discover it. I'm not like Columbus, that piece of shit. But anyway, That's Spooky.
Okay.
It's two gay men who all they talk about is crime and paranormal and Drag Race.
Nice.
Interesting.
Love it. Also, Date with Dateline. It's just two chicks who recap episodes of Dateline. But I love it. Anyway. What else? What else do we need to talk about?
I have a question for you both.
Oh, yes.
If I may, do I
Absolutely.
have to wait for emails?
We have one more email actually that is for you, Tess.
Oh.
It says the subject line is Tess. And it says, what was it like to be thrust right into greatness by having your first Ringwald show be Gloob, a greased up parody? Working with such luminaries with a text so rich and important must have been daunting.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn during that process?
Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you. Thank you so much for this question. I've been wanting to publicly reflect on this for some time. It was literally one of the most fun experiences ever. I first walked into the Ringwald Theater to see a summer show called Beaches Be Trippin', which I should have grabbed it. I literally have the playbill like right over there, and I'm not kidding.
So you were the person that saw that show.
It was me. And when I saw that show, I thought to myself, this place is nuts and I'm in love. Just really liked it a lot. And so when I saw this Facebook event calling for an open casting call for lube, I was like, I love grease too. I could do this. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm the one that auditioned and got to do it. It was just so fun, just so raunchy and silly. And my parents came to see it, and I got to talk about a clitoris in front of my father, and they got to see
the
Liz's
dream.
boobs, and they talked to me about Liz's boobs later.
Giant golden dick on wheels.
The giant golden dick. Yeah. It was super fun. And I'd like to think that my positive attitude and punctuality helped me get cast in future shows. So it was just
the entire package.
so fun. I loved it immensely.
Well, we love you.
Thank you.
But
I
now,
don't even remember the question. I just wanted to talk more about lube. Hopefully I covered it. Thank you.
Thank you. You don't have a question for us?
I do.
You
I
do.
forgot the question I was asked in the email. I just wanted to talk anyway. Okay. Since you both like my favorite murder, do you have a favorite murder?
Ooh.
I do. Mine was really my gateway murder, is what turned me into a murderino. And it's the Amityville Horror, but the murders prior to the DeFeo murders.
Really?
Yeah.
I read that book so many times in middle school and high school. It's not even funny.
Yeah, me too. And it's still like the whole DeFeo murders just really still creep me the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
I have goosebumps right now, actually. But yeah, that really was what opened up the whole world of.
Was it the son or the father? Son, right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Because my Dateline, 48 Hours, all that kind of 2020, all that kind of stuff. My mother always watched that kind of stuff. So, I don't know if there's. I think the thing that my gateway probably is Rebecca Schaeffer.
Ah, interesting.
I don't know this.
So Rebecca Schaeffer was on a little sitcom called My Sister Sam with Pam Dauber.
Oh.
And she is she was what opened the door of people talking about stalkers, because she had a stalker, and at that time in the 80s, late 80s, you could just call the DMV and be like, hey, what's Rebecca Schaeffer's address? And they would give it out. And she she had a stalker, and she went to her door one day and he shot her. And I think that's my gateway, like, oh my God, that's terrible. But one that I need to be solved is the yogurt shop murders.
Oh, yeah.
These girls in Texas worked at a yogurt shop, and somebody came in and murdered them all and set the place on fire. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. And I need it to be, they have not. And from what I can tell, from what I remember, I don't think the police botched it at all. It was just, there were no clues whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I need to know that.
Like recent?
No,
like
late 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah.
So I don't know if you have a lot of hope, really, in it.
No. No. Tess, what is your gateway?
Or favorite?
So my favorite murder happened in southern Indiana. I'm from Indiana. I'm not a Michigander originally. When I was 12, a 12-year-old girl was murdered as a result by 4 teenage girls as a result of like a lesbian love triangle.
Yes.
Schaeffer.
Yes.
Shanda Schaeffer. They brought like counselors into our school to like be there just in case. It was everywhere, all over the news. Shanda Schaeffer was lured into the woods by Melinda Loveless, Hope Rippey, Lori Tackett. and they were like, "You're dating my girlfriend. Sneak out, come meet her." And then they proceeded to
They did
stab her,
horrible things to
rolled
her.
around with her in the trunk all night,
Oh God.
poured like Windex into her wounds. She like just wouldn't die. Then they wrapped her up in a carpet and set it on fire, left it in a field.
Jesus.
It's
They went out
terrible.
to breakfast at McDonald's. I know. So these 4 teenage girls did this. Later, fast forward. So I was the same age as Shanda at the time, so I just feel like I was like zoned in, and just became a ghoul, a creepy ghoul, as I remain today. Fast forward, I did my first internship for social work at the Indiana Women's Prison, where I met 3 of these murderers.
Wow.
Because that's where they are incarcerated, except a few are out now. But Melinda Lovelace will never get out. And one day, she told me she liked my hair.
Ew, that's creepy.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's that. The Shanda Scherer story really.
Wow. Yeah. I can't believe that I just remembered this as you were talking. The Oakland County child killer.
Ooh.
Is that what he? Okay.
Yeah.
His first victim was friends with my brother, and my brother was with him the night he was kidnapped and taken, because they walked from the I want to call it 4-H, not 4-H, UAW, where his mother,
Elks Club? Or is it,
Yes, Elks Club, where his mother was, and then they walked to my house, and my brother asked if he could walk with Mark to Mark's house, and my mother said no, he could not, and then Mark got kidnapped.
Whoa.
I
Isn't that
know the
crazy?
story, which is why I'm not reacting so big. So.
And I can't believe I forgot that. So yeah, so I wasn't allowed to cross the street. I wasn't allowed to do shit till I was like 15 years old.
No.
So yeah. What else? What
One
else?
thing I want, when you talked about the crime you want solved, I don't have many of those, but I have one. And this is, and I like, I care about the disappearance of like just a regular white man who cares, no offense. This guy, Brian Schaeffer, walked into a bar in New York like in March of 2005 or 2006 or something, and never left. And they have no clue where he went. Like, there were no other entrances and all of the stuff behind it. That kind of stuff, you can go really nuts. Like,
Yeah,
there are no answers. Where is he?
yeah, I know. And also something less pizza. The guy who, he was driving home and he kept stopping and he kept calling his parents, and they would call the cops, and they would call, and then he just
a truck stop for like 6 hours.
Yep, and a tow truck driver actually came, helped him out, left, came back.
Hours later, he was still there. The tow truck driver drove him onto the expressway to make sure he was going home, left him. The kid stopped again and never made it home. And
here's my question.
Went down like that embankment.
Yes, his car went down the embankment. Yeah. They found his car. They never found him. But here's the latest. They say that he was purposely trying to get away from his parents, because friends that have spoken about it, because his parents were like, oh my God, we were so close. He was our best friend. And all his friends are like, no, he hated his mom. His mom was overbearing, blah, 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 blah. And also, I'm sorry, if I were a parent, I'm a parent. Anyway, so if Lily was like, hey, my car's broken down, can you come get me? And a couple of hours have passed, now she's not making it anywhere, I'm going to learn how to drive the stick shift, and I'm going to drive to her, and I'm going to grab her ass and bring her home. And they never did that. In like 24 hours time, they never did that.
And they were, when he was at that drug stop, it was like 3 hours from their house.
Right.
And he was there for like 6, 7, 8 hours. And they were just like, TikTok.
Yeah, why aren't you coming home?
Yeah, like get in your fucking car and drive there.
Look at your kid! What are you doing? Oh God, that was so loud. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm so sorry to keep going on this topic, but it's just so fascinating. What is a crime that everyone else is obsessed with that you don't care about, or you think you know who did it and so it doesn't fascinate you?
Do you have one?
Jean Bonet, I don't care. It was either Burke or the Santa. It was one of those two. I think the parents thought it was Burke, which is why I think the parents staged everything, the letter and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think that they think it was Burke, but it could have been the Santa that had come to the house and like was obsessed with her and blah blah blah. But everyone's like, oh my God, who did it? And I'm like, it's one of those two people. It's not that hard. Because I'm a detective, so.
I mean, I'm mildly interested just to know who it was for sure on that one. No, I can't think of anything.
I'm not super wild about Jean Bonet. Like the country went crazy for it, and I didn't really feel much. I was just like, oh, I just thought her parents did it until I learned it was Burke, of course. I just listened to a podcast when I was painting. I'm refurnishing furniture. That's a new hobby. About the disappearance of Chandra Levy.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember it when it happened, and I was not that captivated listening to it, but I know that the nation was gripped.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
All the refugees until 9/11 hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for some reason it went away.
I know, weird.
One more thing about murder. What is an unpopular opinion you have? Like, I don't think Darlie Routier killed her kids.
I don't remember who that is.
She is the one where the two boys were killed because they were all sleeping downstairs and she was on the couch. The husband was upstairs with the baby. Her throat was slit from ear to ear, but she didn't die, but both the boys died. And there was a sock in an alley. And, here's how you remember. I'm so stupid. All they kept showing on the news was news footage of her spraying silly string on their grave on their birthday.
Yeah, that was weird.
Super weird. I don't think she did it.
Why?
There's evidence that they missed. Like the sock, there's just, I don't know. Here's the thing, I don't have any solid reason other than I just don't think she did it. Like why? Why would you do it? Didn't get anything. And also, it's very telling to me when family members stand by people, and her husband stood by her the entire time and was like, I'm not blind, I'm not stupid. She just didn't do it. And he was just very genuine. And they ended up getting divorced because she was like, I want us to be divorced so you can move on with your life. And
here's the thing though, like I hate when people are like, oh well, she or he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. There's no way that he would be capable or she would be capable of doing it. And it's like, no one really knows anyone. So like, that doesn't fly. And of course on Dateline, if you're watching Dateline, it's always like they didn't have a mean bone in their body, or their smile lit up the room, or they're a stranger. But
that's why I'm really happy that I don't light up a room. I don't fit the criteria. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know if I have an unpopular opinion about like a murder suspect, or I mean, like we all know Casey Anthony killed her daughter.
Obviously.
For sure.
Duh.
Obviously.
OJ did it.
OJ did it.
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh, here's one that's probably going to get your panties in a bunch. I'm starting to think that Scott Peterson didn't do it.
Oh, come on.
Ooh.
Listen, starting to. Don't you judge me. Starting to. My mind is opening to the possibility that he's not guilty. I'm not convinced, but
What new evidence or what's changed?
that whole people were breaking into the house across the street. Once again, it's just a feeling. And I'm not convinced. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Mhm.
He's a dumbass and he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, on that note, I feel like thank you, Tess, for being on our longest show yet.
We didn't even talk about Drag Race.
I know. Should we just go for it?
Just real quick. Yeah.
All right. So the finale happened.
Mm-hmm.
Were we happy with the winner?
Pleased as punch.
Yes. Yes, because it was a surprise. Because I was really like, the whole entire time Gigi's panel was in the middle, I was like, Jesus, could they make it more obvious they're handing it to her? And they wouldn't have been handing it to her. She deserved it. She really deserved to win. And I wanted her to win. And I didn't think Jada deserved it in the lip syncs, the first 2 lip syncs of the evening. But no, that is wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She fought for it. I could see her fighting for it, whereas I don't know what the fuck Crystal Method was doing.
No.
She could have gone and made a sandwich, and I would have been just as entertained. A pinata. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then Gigi, I kind of felt like she felt she had it in the bag, and so it was just kind of like, now listen, her lip syncs were amazing. The black and white, I mean, it was amazing, but Jada just brought fire.
Mm-hmm.
So I was okay with it. I wanted Gigi to win, but I was okay. Had Crystal Method won, this would be a whole different conversation.
Yeah. And then All Stars?
I don't know who to root for.
Oh my God. I need to say that I am so pleased to be rediscovering what a fucking delight Jujubee is.
Yes!
Jujubee was always my all-time favorite until Alyssa Edwards came along. I almost said Alyssa Milano.
Her too, she's great.
Edwards came along, who I adore, but it's because I hadn't seen Jujubee in so long, and she is a goddamn delight.
Mm-hmm.
In the confessionals, on just yes. Perfection, just so funny, and oh yes, I love her. I want her, but I also think Blair St. Clair did really well.
Yeah, I did not really love her the first time around. I like her so much better. I love Miss Cracker, of course.
And I love Miss Cracker. She is amazing. Mm-hmm. Derek, I don't even know why Derek was there in the first place. So
I want to like Derek Barry. I do.
You know why you don't? I'll just posit this. Derek isn't a smart person. That's all.
Shade.
But I don't need Derek to be smart. I need Derek to be a wonderful Britney impersonator, which she is. So who cares?
But that's it.
Yeah, it's the one trick pony.
Yeah.
She could have leaned into it, and I think that actually would have been like she could have leaned in and been like, "It's Britney, babe." I don't know. If she had done it even like more so, I would have been like, "Okay, here you are."
I want Angina to do well, and I don't think she's gonna. Yeah. I think she's in over her head.
Bless her heart.
Maybe.
Bless her heart.
Yeah. I don't love the new system. I guess it's better than the old one because I really hated the old system.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see how it goes.
I just think that they were trying to make it so that another Ben de la Creme didn't happen.
Yeah.
Are you fans of the drag queens Willem and Alaska?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I like Alaska. I cannot stand Willem.
Well,
Hey, yeah, no, you're right. I agree with that. Yes.
the other podcast I listen to every week is called Race Chasers, and it's Alaska and Willem talking about Drag Race. And
The amount of vocal fry happening, I can't.
Yeah.
I love Alaska. I think Alaska is so talented and so fucking funny. And when I first start hearing her voice, it's really, and then I'm just like, it hurts my voice box. I can't take it. And then you're right, Joe. Willem is just like trash,
oh my God.
kind of. Listen, I have
Taking
opinions.
indictment.
I have opinions. But no. That's the brand, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what she strives to be, and she's hitting that mark.
All right. Well, now we're going to sew it up because it's been almost 40 minutes.
Oh, my.
Oh, no. But
no.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Tess.
Thanks for inviting me. Such a joy.
Hopefully we'll be able to see you in person soon.
And
someday.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right. Love you all. See you all next week.
love you. Bye.
Bye.